Okay, it's time for meditations. I always try to push positivity, talk about it, encourage it. And I know sometimes that's hard to listen to. I know it can be hard to be positive. I know this because, well, I go through life. I understand that. I do it all, I have to figure out where my life is. And I know it's hard for you to figure that out sometimes. I know it quite well. But positivity isn't just going, okay, I'm going to be happy. It's about realizing that not everything is coming at you personally. Sometimes things just are because they are. Not everybody wants to hear that because it's like, well, this happened. It's like, yes, it just happened. It's not personal. It wasn't meant to be personal. It just happened. And life happens. How you react to it is where the positivity comes in. Because it's easy. It's very easy to be negative. The world makes negativity an easy thing. But choosing not to be negative and realizing that what's going on is not necessarily directly against you. That can be hard sometimes. Hi, little guy. The world moves. And sometimes not in the way we want. And not in the way that helps us. But the world moves. And all we can do is learn to work with it, to listen to it, and to listen to ourselves. It's not an easy thing to do all the time. But you do need to listen to yourself. Believe it or not, most people, when they listen to themselves, and they don't try to interfere with themselves, usually do okay. It's when you listen to the background noise of other people that it becomes a problem. You know, I watched some interesting documentaries, and I found that they were very, without saying directly who was the cause of things, they said it. They pointed without saying, "Look at this," and you sit there and you look at the world, going, "Are people really so hell bent on believing that they're in charge, that they're gods?" It gets to that point where you have to sit there and go, at some point, when are you going to realize that that's not what we're here for? We're here to heal. Doesn't look like it, but we are. Go ahead and get comfortable and take a breath. Go ahead and put a line or roots down, whatever you feel, down into the earth. And start a flow of your energy. Again, it can come from any source. You don't have to recognize it for it to go into the earth. And let any energy from others trying to control, and let that join the flow down into the earth. And letting any energy about this being a healing planet, but it doesn't seem like it, join the flow down into the earth. You see, people have to realize that there's a problem before they even look at the fact that there is a problem, and that maybe they need to look for help. Let any energy about looking for help join the flow down into the earth. This earth is here to kind of put it in your face. That if there's a problem, you see it. It's a matter of, are you willing to look? It's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, doesn't mean they'll drink it. Well, you can show people that there's a problem, but it doesn't mean they'll do something. And that's a danger. That's a problem. When people don't realize that they've got a problem, or don't want to see, so they distract themselves. Hence the rat race. In a perfect world, we'd have some technology, but also some basics The stress wouldn't be about money. The push wouldn't be about money. It would just simply be about finding what makes happiness a possibility. Because in doing that, you have to look inside. Now, people can have outward happiness. It doesn't mean they're happy. People can be rich and be miserable because it becomes a burden to them. There's many things that can make you miserable, and very few things that can make you happy. But anything that makes you happy has to start with you. And let that join the flow down into the earth. Think about it. If you want to be happy, you have to be willing to look at yourself and identify, one, what does real happiness mean? Because it doesn't mean money. Real happiness means being able to enjoy the moments. And how do you enjoy the moments? Well, some people think, well, money creates them. No, money doesn't create them. And other people don't create them either. Life creates them. You just have to be willing to look and see it when it happens. Let that join the flow down into the earth. Y'all have heard me talk about driving and being stuck down in Texas, seeing the little girl in the shopping cart. And I talk about them because they're a moment. A moment I didn't create. I was just observing. But it was enjoyable. That being able to enjoy a moment, even if it's not yours, being able to appreciate it makes all the difference in the world. Let not being able to enjoy your moments join the flow down into the earth. Life is full of moments. From the second we're brought into this world to the second we leave, there are moments. being able to observe them and appreciate them can mean everything. Being hung up on status and burdens and expectations becomes a problem. Always wanting more can be a problem. Let that join the flow down into the earth. Realizing that being happy is just about being able to live and be a part of. That means everything. There's a lot out there. A lot of things to watch and live. And being able to live in those moments and observe them and know that you're in that moment. When I saw that little girl just chatting away to her daddy, I even turned to my wife and said, "That is so precious. Look at the way she just looks at him." And she was so emphatic about talking and making sure daddy was listening. Makes you wonder if he realized what a special moment that was for himself and for her. But I thought it was special for me just to watch it. As a part of that. It's precious. My cat, a little boy who loves to come here. Today I was tired. Worked out. Got my car in. Got the tires switched out. Had to carry the tires into the car and back out. I was kind of worn out. My cat, my little boy, saw me sitting there on the couch just kind of taking in the day, and he came up and wanted to climb on top of me like he does here. He just rubbing away, and I gave him some hugs. And those are special. They're in the moment. They're him saying, because he's a busy little boy. They're him saying, "I love you. Thank you." And then he goes on about his merry way. But he's always telling me thank you. Sometimes you got to think about that. Do you say thank you? you say thank you for your day? Do you say thank you for your life? And who would you say thank you to? Sometimes you have to say thank you to yourself. Because you're there. And you're participating. And thank yourself for that. That's important. That means something. And you mean something. And let any energy about not thanking yourself for being there, about being here now, join the flow into the earth. There's a lot to think about. But it all comes down to, are you happy? And do you love yourself? Do you care about yourself? Can you ask that question to yourself and go, yes, I do love myself. And I do care. And that's not being conceited or selfish. You have to love yourself before you can love others. Because if you don't, how do you know what love is? A lot of people say, well, love is giving and no. Love is about exchange. Being a part of. You have to love yourself because you have to be a part of yourself. You have to be capable of realizing what warmth is, what caring really is. If you don't, you end up giving and not knowing what really is going to come back. Love is about giving, understanding that even if it's not the same thing, you're still getting something back. It's not always what you expect, but it's still there. Like this little guy, he can't sit still. But he will come up and rub on me. And that's his way of saying, I love you, thank you. Then, boom, he's off doing stuff again. But it's with the heart when he does that. And it means a lot to be able to receive that. But I have to love myself to be able to recognize that he's loving. I don't know. It's just some simple thoughts. Let any energy from not understanding what love is to you join the flow into the earth. And what love is within you. And let that join the flow into the earth. When you come to this earth, you are loved. You may not realize it, but you are. It's just understanding that. Love is there all the time. Anytime you want to tap into that, it's there. But you have to love yourself enough to accept it and to believe that you're worthy of it. Let any energy from not believing that you are worthy of love join the flow down into the earth. And let any remaining energy from tonight join the flow down into the earth. And once all that energy has gone into the earth, go ahead and stop your flow down into the earth. Bring your lines back up into you. And just let yourself relax. Life is good when you want it to be. You can be happy when you want to be. It's just a decision. The decision may take time to work itself through, but it's still just a decision. Thank you for coming. I'll be on Saturday on Facebook and Sunday back on YouTube. If you liked what you heard and felt tonight, please like, share, and subscribe. And know that you are loved. And let yourself look at your life and look at the moments from day to day and love your life as you are loved. Thank you for coming tonight. I always appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening and get some good sleep.